Astaga.
好的了，look, I never see.
Hit a snake, man.
Oh yeah, that's very nice. Oh, look at this car.
Ah, Japan, Japan.
Go to the top of that thing.
Why do you consistently give us such a fantastic holiday? From beautiful scenery to those delicious food, the convenience store that has better fried rice than some of my local Michelin star restaurants.
It's rated #1.
Your toilet is far more interesting than my living room. And of course, your ski resort never fails to deliver powder
I'm
snow.
gonna get in there.
In fact, you even have a different name for your snow. The champagne snow, given just how soft and fluffy compared to even the fluffiest snow you can find in any other countries. This year, we picked a ski resort on the famous island of Hokkaido, known as Rusutsu Ski Resort. For the average tourist who's new to skiing in Japan, I wouldn't blame you if you never heard of Rusutsu. That's because Rusutsu is often overlooked for its much more famous neighbor, Niseko, which is bigger, has all the high-end accommodation, steeper slopes, basically gets all the attention like the youngest child in your family. As a result, you might want to avoid it like me, given a holiday there at Niseko will probably end up with you eating a lot more instant noodle than you would like. Rusutsu is every bit a first-class destination as any other ski resorts in Japan, and I'm here to tell you why. In this video, we'll talk about a few things you need to know before you go there, from where to stay, where to ski, what lift tickets you should buy, where to eat, and how to get around. Hopefully, it'll convince you to come to Rusutsu instead. But first, let's talk about location. Rusutsu is located at the northern island of Hokkaido, about 1.5-hour drive west of capital city, Sapporo. For most international tourists, however, your journey most likely starts at the new Chitose International Airport, which will take around 2 hours by either car or bus. A rental car or private taxi is the most convenient, but will of course be the most expensive, while taking the bus is much cheaper, but only works if it suits your flight schedule. There are a ton of options to get to Rusutsu, so it pays to do your own research as the price difference between the various options can be quite big depending on your choice of transport. The resort has 18 lifts with about 1,378 acres of skiable area. This isn't very big if you compare it to its neighbor, Niseko, at almost double the size. Does it matter? It depends. The average snowfall won't disappoint, however, and it's the same as Niseko at about 14 meters or 45 feet. That is a lot of snow, and will keep even the most devoted snow enthusiast grinning all season long. To break it all down, the resort basically has 3 separate areas: West Mountain, East Mountain, and Mount Isola. West Mountain is a separate area perfect for beginners and intermediates. It is directly attached to Rusutsu Resort Hotel and Convention Center, which has all sorts of fancy shopping, dining options from food court to higher-end buffet, onsen, and even a carousel for kids. All your ski schools in various languages are here, with dedicated areas for kids' ski lessons. It's where all the higher-end hotels are located, one of which I will talk about later. It's a fantastic mountain for families with younger kids for a convenient integrated all-in-one ski holiday. East Mountain and Mount Isola, on the other hand, is best thought of as a separate connected ski area. It's where the serious intermediates and advanced skiers, snowboarders go. Apart from a few restaurants and ticket office, it's pretty much all business. Fun. On a clear day, the top of Mount Isola offers fantastic view of Mount Yote, which many of you will mistaken it for Mount Fuji, unfortunately. But on a good powder day, this area is where many skiers and snowboarders will rush to for its tree runs. We'll talk about this in more detail later. If you're driving, keep in mind there's 2 car parks depending on where you intend to go for the day. One is located on the West Mountain side, basically the car park for Rusutsu Hotel and Convention Center. Good if you want to start your day at West Mountain. And then there's a car park at East Mountain. This is the car park that Google Maps will send you to, and it's the car park intended for day trippers or those that want to start the day on the East Mountain. There is no direct access to Mount Isola, meaning the only way to get to Mount Isola is by skiing there. Either way, the 2 sites are interconnected by both a gondola and a monorail as well, both of which you can take for free. Anyway, enough about location. Let's talk about accommodation next. Rusutsu Resort may be a smaller ski resort, but it doesn't lack range in accommodation, from lower-end hostels to 5-star hotel. So where should you stay? This is ultimately going to come down to your own priorities, whether that's convenience, perhaps a kitchen for home-cooked meals, or perhaps you just want a bit of luxury. The places we suggest here are mid-range accommodations that will suit families. Each have their own advantages and disadvantages, but both served us very well in their own way. So here we go. The first option is what I would call, give me luxury with a kitchen, please. By that, you want ski in, ski out facility. You want that new building smell. You want access to hotel facilities, shopping, restaurants, onsens, and be able to just walk to access them all. And you want to be able to press the make up my room button and watch your room all cleaned up for you every day. You want a concierge you can call up at any time and abuse someone to get what you want, whether that's restaurant reservations, in-room dining, airport shuttle bookings, clean underwear, whatever. And you want a view of the ski slope as well. Well, I think you're gonna like Vale Rusutsu very much. The room itself isn't very big, but that's pretty much true of most newer hotels anyway. The bed is comfortable, and a nice bonus is that it does come with a kitchen too, which means if you're bored of the restaurants on offer, you can easily cook up your own meals if you choose to. Good thing is, there is both 7-Eleven and Seiko Mart just a short walk across the road. And I can assure you, some of the meals you can get there is better than you think. Vale Rusutsu is attached to the main Rusutsu Hotel and Convention Building, so you will have access to all its shopping, restaurants, bars, medical facilities, rental shops, basically everything. The downside? Not a lot really. The room could be a bit bigger, and I suppose I could do with a bit less email coming from them constantly telling me about their offers and add-ons that I would miss out on. The ski in, ski out is a little further from the ski lift than I would like, but manageable. Overall, Vale Rusutsu is a sensible option. The convenience is everything, and you want the resort experience. The second option is what I would call, I drive and I want a big home option. By that, when you have a big family, or you just want lots of room. Hotels are just way too expensive for your family size, and besides, you want to feel like you're living in a home away from your real home anyway. You want a full-size kitchen with a fridge that opens without needing to touch the door. High-tech toilet that lifts the toilet lid on its own. A big dining table where you can actually sit down as a family to enjoy a meal together. A giant modern TV with channels that you don't understand. And a fancy heated rack for all your ski snowboard gear to dry overnight. Well, I think you will really like Experience R. It is more like an Airbnb style accommodation and is really only suitable for those who's driving. Unless you don't mind paying the taxi fare of about 4,000 yen each way to go to ski resort every day. It is located in an area about 10 to 13 minutes drive away from Rusutsu Ski Resort called Kimobetsu, where there's a lot of other similar style accommodation like this as well. Driving to the ski resort is very manageable given the short distance. The downside? There is no reception desk for this one. All communication with the homeowner is via WhatsApp. The check-in process is a bit clunky, relying on an iPad and requires following a lot of instructions. Not to mention, no one's gonna make up your room for you. But you know what? There's not a lot of places where you can fit 12 people in a single accommodation. Or get this, there's a Lawson convenience store just behind for some extra convenience. If you don't drive, the owner promises that he will be offering some sort of shuttle services in the near future. It's a home that's in many ways better than my own home. Anyway, I hope that gives you an idea of the sort of accommodation on offer at Rusutsu. Let's move on and talk about where to ski next. As mentioned earlier, there are 3 mountains at Rusutsu. If you take a look at the trail map, you might get the impression that this resort's mainly for intermediate skiers, given it's pretty much dominated by red runs. From my own experience, I would say this is actually quite a well-balanced mountain for all 3 levels of skiers. Let me break it down for you. First, the beginners. Well, there's really 2 kinds of beginners. The beginner, like you're just starting out and you're not sure how to put your skis on type of beginner. Well, if that's you, you will enjoy yourself a lot more by sticking with West Mountain. The green runs themselves aren't very long, but more than enough to get you up and running. There's 2 green runs along with some red runs here to prepare yourself well for other mountains on offer. If you decide to give up, well, you don't have to go far to access Rusutsu shopping, onsens, restaurants, cafes, and so on. Or if you decide skiing isn't for you, there's also a kids park where you get to go sledding, tubing, etc. etc.
Yeah, you made it.
But if you're doing well, congratulations. You're now the second type of beginner, the advancing beginner. Making to the top of Mount Isola is your goal for that famous photo in front of the signpost to announce to the world, I've made it to the top. But you want to start with East Mountain first. If you're starting to link turns and can control your speed well, you will want to start hitting those red runs over at East Mountains first. Now take it easy, however. Those long red runs will take a toll on your legs. If you're planning to make your way over to Mount Isola, just keep in mind that there is no way to quit once you're there. You will need to ski your way back to the East Mountain even if you don't have the legs left for it. There isn't an all-green run back to East Mountain, so keep this in mind. My advice? If your fitness level isn't quite there yet, like you go only skiing a couple of days a year, I would suggest not going over there just yet until you're very comfortable on intermediate runs. If you don't take this advice, well, keep in mind, you may lose confidence and have to walk, slide down, struggle a bit, like our friend here, to eventually make it back to the base of East Mountain. Let's just say, it takes a while.
And I'm sure you guys will remind me on YouTube.
For the intermediates and advanced, well, here's the truth. You'll find the main red and black runs a bit boring. Yes, it's long, but really, you didn't come here for groomed runs, did you? chances are you already know that Rusutsu is famous for its off-piste tree runs. Unlike many ski resorts in Japan, Rusutsu is one of the few resorts that does not require going through a troublesome registration process, nor do you need to go through control gates, only open on good days like at Niseko. At Rusutsu, you can go off-piste into these tree runs anytime. In fact, Rusutsu even provides you nicely highlighted trail maps with yellow shades on their gondolas and ski lifts to show you exactly where you can sort of safely go off-piste. Basically, you can go off most of the main groom runs into the trees, provided you do not cross these signs. The one area you want to be extra careful of is to make sure you don't end up in this area, which is amazingly easy to do. Going to this area will mean eventually needing to make the painful trek on your own back up the mountain, which can take hours. If a trail is too quiet or doesn't have a lot of tracks left by others, chances are you've gone down the wrong path. Well, I did, for failing to listen to my son. Fortunately, my senses kicked in and this is what my son had to say.
So we're lost in the woods because someone didn't listen to the son that this was the wrong way. So now we're stuck here, pretty much. What time is it anyway?
So here's the thing. If you're not exactly confident about going off-piste, Rusutsu International Ski School actually does offer an experienced mountain guide service as well. It's not cheap by any means, but at least you'll be taken to tree runs that will better suit your skill levels without running the risk of going into areas with no return. We tried it and can vouch for the quality of their instructors and guides. Oh, if you're looking for that famous powder, well, let's be realistic. You're not gonna get powder snow every single day, especially with global warming drastically changing the usual weather patterns quite a bit. Sometimes snow arrives very early, sometimes very late in the season. You just can't tell. But if you hang around long enough, you will no doubt get days where there's so much snow, you can't see your skis or board at all while skiing in it. Just make sure that you have plenty of leg energy left to enjoy it. So pace yourself so that you can enjoy good days like this. Lastly, here's a fun fact. Rusutsu actually has a full amusement park operating in summer only. For winter, well, the park isn't open, but you can actually ski or snowboard your way over there to get a surreal photo of yourself with the snow-covered rides. Anyway, enough about skiing, let's move on to the next topic.
Guys, do you know what time it is? It's time for...
Before you head there, here's a few extra tips to help plan for your trip to Rusutsu. Number 1. Lift tickets. Rusutsu's website has many options for lift tickets, but the most unique one is probably the one that is based on hours rather than day. Namely, the 5-hour ticket and the 25-hour ticket. The 5-hour ticket is a day-only ticket. Time starts ticking when you tap it for the first time on the day. So you tap it at 9 AM in the morning, your ticket will be valid until 2 PM in the afternoon. You can't use it again the next day. The 25-hour ticket, however, is a multi-day ticket, meaning you can use those hours over as many days over the entire season as you need. One major advantage of the 25-hour ticket is that it is deducted in 1-hour increments, meaning your first tap of the day will result in just 1 hour deducted off your ticket. And in that 1 hour, you can basically use as many lifts as you want within that 1 hour. Pricing wise, the 25-hour makes sense if you'll be spending 3 or more days at Rusutsu. Mind you, it's actually pretty hard to use up the whole 25-hour ticket. For us, even with 5 days of skiing, we weren't able to finish the 25-hour ticket, averaging 4 hours of actual deduction each day. Number 2. Other things to do. Rusutsu Ski Resort does have listings on their website for a range of non-skiing related activities that you can do, like snowmobile, horse riding, ice fishing, snow rafting, etc. We tried snowmobile, which is quite fun actually, provided you can keep yourself on the track. If you do intend to try dog sledding, we've been told it's extremely popular, so you probably want to book it well in advance. Number 3. Should you drive? This will highly depend on whether you're comfortable driving on snowy roads. Good thing is, most main roads are generally cleared of snow every day, so driving on snow is fairly trouble-free. However, there will be days when you walk to your car and you see this.
Rental car snowed in this morning.
Be prepared to spend at least half an hour to dig out those snow just to be able to get into your car to drive away. It is, however, a fantastic option if you aren't here just to ski and want to do plenty of side trips. We did. For example, we went to Noboribetsu if you feel like smelling a bit of stinky air. Visit a bear park. Watch a duck race.
Go. Red.
Visit an ice festival. To conclude, Rusutsu probably isn't the most budget-friendly option if that's what you're after. But if you're after the famous Japan powder snow with trees, or maybe you're starting out and want the convenience of an all-in-one ski resort, then Rusutsu is a fantastic option. May not be the biggest, but it certainly will not fail to put some pretty big smiles on most people's faces.
Wait a second.
Until the next video, have a great holiday.